Hey guys, welcome back to the Velvet Sugar Podcast. This is episode what? 24?
Episode 24.
24, man.
And this is a preview for the show.
Yeah, we just did a fantastic, dope episode with local comedian Jack Ludlum.
Yep.
So
we discussed things from what? Paleontology.
Yeah,
Right,
to
comedy beginnings, comedy roots,
bombing.
what it's like to start comedy, what it's like to start an open mic.
Yeah.
What it's like to see your idols in comedy when you're young, when they're new, and what else did we talk about?
Getting put in the corner as a kid. No, we didn't talk about that. That's yeah.
All kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah. So tune in, man. Tune in to Velvet Sugar Podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tune in, man. We have fun. And any of your local comics, hit us up.
And if you live in Westchester, Putnam County, this area, at the end we'll tell you where to go for an open mic. There's open mics in the area.
Yeah.
And you could also email us or ask us where there's open mics, so we'll let you know.
Our email is, we'll flash it at, velvetsugarpodcast@gmail.com.
And and if we say anything offensive during the show, you can
We don't
email
give a
us.
shit.
Email us at wedon'tgiveashit.com. We're comics. We're allowed to say whatever we want.
Tune in, guys.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Velvet Sugar Podcast. Thanks for being with us. And we have a guest today. We have a guest. We almost always have a guest now, right?
It looks that way. It certainly does.
And I am Alex Kolar at Big Alex Comedy.
David Beckles Jr. at Black Rock Dave.
And we got a special guest, a fellow comedian and Hudson Valley comic, Jack Ludlum.
Thanks, fellas. Yeah, this is an absolute treat. Thanks for having me.
I think we're going to, I don't want to give like a preview of what we're going to do, but we're going to talk about like some stuff today. We're going to talk about Jack's favorite subject, which is, he just told me, was paleontology, which is what? The study of the keto, the diet with meat, right?
Yeah,
No,
it's a whole thing,
diet.
dude. Yeah, it's...
Nice.
Yeah, it's you just go fucking raw, just eat like a caveman, and you look just like me.
So Jack, you got a
what? Study of what?
Do you know what the study of paleontology is? Please tell me.
No. Paleontology. Ology is the study of.
Yes.
Oh.
What's paleontology?
So what's paleo then? Is what it is.
Tell us what is paleontology?
I think you're referring to the paleo diet is what you're thinking.
I know.
about.
I'm messing around. My joke went over everybody's head, including yours and mine.
It's basically the study of ancient animals and shit like that, just studying fossils. It kind of like started my whole interest in the natural world, and it's kind of it's part of the how weird the last 31 years of my life have been, just like my own weird interests, and here I am now.
So what's the difference between archaeology and paleontology?
So archaeology more focuses on human-made things. It's kind of more recent history. Like archaeology is probably post 10,000 years ago is when the first civilizations came around. When the aliens showed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So is it safe to say that you're a wizard, Jack? Is that it?
Well, I was the vice president of the metaphysics organization in college. That's not bullshit, by the way.
Oh, so yes, then you're a wizard. Freaking
That's
wizard.
how that qualifies for it.
Regular old Gargamel.
Yeah, dude.
So
big
when
time.
did the aliens put the dinosaur bones there?
65 million years ago.
Nice.
Yeah, it's plotted out. They were pretty lazy about it. It wasn't a good cover-up job on their part.
I know. They're like, we're going to bury him just enough for humans to find him.
Oh,
right?
yeah. They're going to think they're dragons at first, but...
Were there any female aliens with, I don't know, wide hips, big booties, perhaps?
Let's not get into it. That's back in my college years. I had fun.
You like paleontology, or you majored in it, you studied it, or you just enjoyed it?
So I just enjoyed it since I was a kid. I watched Jurassic Park the first time when I was a kid. It just blew my fucking mind. And
how old were you when that movie came out?
So I think it came out when I was born, but I didn't watch it until I was 7 or 8. Yeah, it came out in '93, and it holds the fuck up. It's wild.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah, there's a few things that hold up. It's that came out in '93. It was Jurassic Park, X-Files, and the Wu-Tang: The 36 Chambers came out. Me, not so much.
So with all of that, how did you get into comedy?
So I got into it. Well, it started like anybody else. It was a fan. Just the big thing for me was the big HBO specials. Carlin was the big one. Chris Rock was the big one. Jim Norton, Monster Rain was they kind of changed my life. And it's holy shit, you can literally talk about anything.
Jim Norton's?
Yeah, Jim Norton's one. Was broke open the doors. And holy shit, you can literally talk about anything. He did it in such a great self-deprecating way. But then fast forward, I was 18. I was in college, and they were doing a coffee house open mic, and I decided, fuck it, why not? Just I tried it, and did it, and like honestly, the first couple of times I did okay from what I can recall, but yeah, I just been doing it ever since. For better or for worse.
What's the first 2 or 3 comedy specials you've seen? If you remember the first one.
Oh wow!
Remember the first one?
The first one. You know what? I think it was actually Richard Pryor live at the Sunset Strip.
Really?
Yeah, that was the first one. Yeah, it was like,
Your first one. First one you ever seen.
Seen?
Mine was Eddie Murphy Raw.
Oh yeah, that's up.
was my
That's
first
up
one.
there
Actually
too.
seen. I can't recall what I the first one I've seen. I remember listening to Eddie Murphy on a cassette tape, and I remember having to pause it several times because my stomach was hurting me.
Yes.
I thought I was gonna pass out laughing so much.
For
You know that particular one he was talking about. You say your wife is Puerto Rican? Say no Puerto Rican. She's a Goonie Google. But the aunt coming down the stairs, Lord Jesus, please, Lord Jesus,
And
please.
she's falling down the stairs. Oh, that's the same one with the ice cream, right? You dropped your
Oh
ice cream.
my goodness.
Yeah. My wife just heard that for the first time 3 months ago.
Really?
And she's like, I didn't know like comedy like this existed. I'm like, yeah.
I know. It was
know?
wild back then, dude.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, because in the 90s,
And that was 84 Raw.
Yeah, but
80,
in the 90s, right? I wasn't allowed to listen to stuff like that.
No.
So when I came here, my parents are more lenient. So I went to King's Plaza and I got the cassette, and I started listening to it. I listened to it, and as I started to experience the world, I discovered I want to do comedy. But I was like, I want to do it. I don't know if I can do it. I want to do it. I don't know if I can do it.
Right.
What convinced me to say you have to do it? Tony Woods.
Yeah. Wow. Tony
There
Wood.
was something I was watching with him, and he did this bit about a monkey. I think it's. I don't want to flub it up, but it has to do with like owning a dog or owning a monkey. You could tell the monkey like put toast or put dinner ready, something like that. But he crafted it was so genius and funny. I said, I have to figure out a way to do this.
Right,
You remember the
yeah.
special?
I don't remember the special. I think he had a
Woods?
purple blazer on, but Tony Woods, man, he's like a godfather.
Oh yeah, he's one of those dudes.
He's Dave Chappelle's OG.
He was like
Yeah.
his mentor, right?
Yeah,
He was,
Yeah,
from
he's just-
Maryland. That guy. Oof.
He's one of those like old school like road dogs that's just still
Yeah,
out there.
yeah.
And he's not like a household name, but like he'll
mean,
sell out fucking
He's
places.
a comic. That's a
100%.
Every comic that knows anything about comedy, knows about Tony.
Yeah,
Woods.
you see like the sparkling. It's like, oh shit, he knows about Tony Woods.
yeah.
I was into Dice Clay too.
Yeah.
Because I guess I was when that came out, I was like a preteen. So that's like what you want to hear about sex and all that talk. Of
course.
You're like, oh my God, I would hide in my room and play it.
Dickory.
With my little Walkman. I had a Walkman. I would put it in a
Damn.
cassette and listen to Dice Clay albums. And my parents would kill me if they heard me listening to something
yeah,
like that.
for
It was
sure.
like
So
12.
you had some freedom a little bit, right?
Yeah.
You had a little bit
yeah.
of freedom.
You had none of that.
No, not necessarily. No, I mean to an extent, but like I'd have to go through stuff to hide stuff, and I ain't do that.
Yeah, I was kind of
Yeah.
the same thing with like
You know what I mean?
My parents did not want me watching Married with Children.
really.
And we did. My brother and I, we shared the same room, and he was 7 years older. We lived in an apartment building in Queens, and my brother's like, "We're gonna watch Married with Children." He didn't give a crap. He's 7 years older. He
Right,
we changed the channel if my dad came in, but he left us alone.
Wow, yeah, and that seems so.
So you
like,
had a TV in your
I had a
room.
this is not communist Czechoslovakia. This is Bayside, Queens. Yeah, we had a TV in our room. You didn't have a TV in your room?
No.
Wow.
No, I had a room, but there was one
TV?
TV. There was one TV in the house, brother.
Wow.
the main
What
TV.
year? What year was it? 80s? Obviously, like that.
80s
We're,
and
we're the
90s,
same age. You're a couple
Yeah.
year, a year or two older.
Yeah, but it was the 80s.
Dave's 40. I'm 38.
How old are you, Jack? 17?
Sweetie,
No.
31.
It was a rhetorical
31
question.
years
Trying
old.
to make
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
31.
God. You're not old enough to be like our child, but it's pushing it. Yeah, I'm 48.
Yeah, I
Well,
got,
Isn't that crazy?
No, he
Yeah.
could be my child.
yeah, easily. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can see that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
1994, I could have,
Wow. Isn't that crazy? You're old enough to have
He's so
kids now.
crazy.
Isn't that
Just
crazy?
pop out. And he's like, why is he white?
Like, Stacy, you whore.
But going back to like the comics that like blew your mind, so the main one for me was Carlin. It's like the one thing I love about him was like how smart he was, and like he was like it seemed like rebellion seemed like a young person's game, like punk rockers and everything like that.
Yeah.
And you've seen these guys get old, and it's kind of like sad now. But you see like old man Carlin was my favorite because he still had that energy and all that passion, and still like like when you rewatch his specials, they're like prophetic now. Like
So like, I've never seen any of his specials.
really.
No, I've seen bits and pieces. Well, I heard that his specials changed over the time. He became
Big
more like
time.
ranting against like the stuff that's going on in society
Sure.
at the end. Well, what was he doing in the early specials? Like,
The early specials, he was like squeaky clean. He had like a suit on. And he was
Really?
like clean cut. He went through like 5 or 6 different evolutions like in the course of his like 60-year career. The guy kept evolving and evolving.
what was his early specials? Was 70s or 60s? No,
it was like the
70s.
60s, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Okay.
like-
He did comedy like 30, 40 years, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah, big time.
I mean, he was out the same time as Bill Cosby and Richard Pryor. Remember,
Yeah,
Richard Pryor was
exactly.
clean as well.
Yes, he was clean. Yeah, and they were like, but the guy
When did-
that influenced them like to actually start using comedy as kind of like a means of like putting their thoughts or emotions out there or being like personal. In the case of Pryor, was much more personal. Carlin was much more from the head and just like seeing like the big picture. But both of that was from like Lenny Bruce, which is interesting because like when you ask like younger guys about it, it's like it doesn't hold up as well because it's in the context of that history. It seems kind of like outdated, but that influence is indirectly in everything else. Up to today, it's
But Lenny Bruce is the reason that we can like curse and say what we say.
basically
He's the one
yeah.
that got arrested.
Yeah,
right,
he
in
got
the city?
arrested. Him and
You know that
Carlin were
story
in the
with Lenny
same
Bruce?
car together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Story. That's a crazy story. I just heard it for the first time like
Yeah.
6 months ago.
I
didn't know that like the police came to you couldn't say a certain word they arrested
No.
in America.
Yeah.
Like that's insane.
Which is funny. I heard that, not to cross you, from The Adventure of Mrs. Maisel. That's on Prime.
Yes. Yeah.
Because there was a Lenny Bruce character.
Yeah.
And so that's where he learned that. He got arrested. Also, we did a show just over a week ago at assistant living or retirement home? What do you call it?
yeah, a retirement home. Yeah.
And the
Don't
average
give the name out. We're not going to.
Yeah, we're not gonna say the name. But the average age was 82, 84.
Wow.
Yeah, 80 to
Right?
90.
80.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
80
And
to
one of
90
the
years
things,
young.
one of the things they told us when we got off, they complimented us, but they said, said it was different now because the things that you can talk about now, you can talk about when she was our age.
Of course, yeah.
Our producer right now is louder than we were, than the crowd was at that show. I mean, that's literally how much they
That's
laughed.
literally like a scene out of The Sopranos that they're at the old folks' home. There's a dude dying on stage.
But what's funny is like they love. We're like, are we bombing? And they all came up to us. Oh, you guys were amazing. It's like, but one lady's like, she said it. She's like, were you there? And she's like, we're just old. We don't laugh. We don't have the energy.
Damn.
I mean, they're over 80. The young ones were 80. There were people in there who were 90.
Yeah.
Joe's, listen.
Yeah.
There's people there. The friend of ours at the place was 88, and I
He's
know
sharp as a
somebody. I met a
tack,
couple people that were 96.
Yeah, 93 and everything.
You know?
So they're in there.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
You know?
I hope
I don't have
if-
jokes about the cotton gin or fucking what else. You know,
You know what
the coal industry in the
by the
30s.
way, there is not a better laugh that you will ever find
Than Jack Ludlum.
Jack freaking Ludlum.
Dude, if I'm in my 90s, I can't laugh anymore. Just put me in the fucking ground, dude.
Whenever you're doing something and you hear Jack's cackle, you're like, at least okay.
You know,
at least
like
I mean, Jack-
you're literally. I want to tape a special early next year, and I don't know where yet. And you're the only one I'm gonna buy you a ticket. You have to be there, and I'll limo
right.
you out there.
I'm down for it, dude.
That laugh, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's some fun stuff. But so all right. So you like paleontology? What'd you go to school for?
So I went to school for environmental studies with a minor in biology. Basically, the Adirondacks were like my classroom, like right at my fucking doorstep, and yeah, it was a fun time there. Did a lot of mushrooms.
Mushrooms? Yeah, I never tried mushrooms.
Yeah, they're fun. It's all set and setting.
You think they changed your mindset on stuff? I hear
Yeah,
people say that.
yeah. A couple of trips definitly did. Like,
Is that true? You become like more empathetic to people?
to an extent, but I think it's different for everybody. By the way, I'm not here to condone nor condemn the use of illicit substances, but they've certainly helped me.
All right, it's time for a commercial break, everybody. This podcast is brought to you by mushrooms. You get mushrooms from Jack.
We are the
Available at your
Velvet
local-
Sugar Podcast. Do not condone the use of Jack's mushroom.
I think they are legal now, so we're allowed to.
Yeah, it's because there's been a much more large studies done. It has a lot more therapeutic applications to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, doing like a couple of grams recreationally is not too bad either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's all the context which is used, and also like do your fucking homework too. It's just like there's too many. I think a part of the reason why a lot of drugs are illegal is there's too many fucking idiots do them improperly.
Oh, yeah.
Like I heard some story like. Like somebody got fucked up on ketamine. It's just like, come on, dude.
Ketamine? Oh, jeez. Yeah, man. Did you micro or macro dose mushrooms?
The last time I did them, it was quite a macro dose. It was like 5 grams, dude. Yeah.
I heard you see light streak a certain way, right?
Oh yeah, like
That's what a lot of people say, right?
Yeah, with acid you do see a lot of the trails too. But with the mushrooms,
does like a table come to life and talk to you on mushrooms? I've heard crazy things.
No, not yet, as far as I'm experienced. But I'll let you know the next time it does.
The table talks. Your mushrooms probably laced with crack.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, everything just becomes like alive and kind of swirling. It was, I basically did it like at the height of the pandemic, and it was just me. I was alone in my house. I had the place to myself for like 12 hours. And it was just myself and my dogs in my backyard, and like my dog was like had this tumor in her neck at the time. And I kind of like I looked at it, and I was just like, "Oh, you're a life form too." And I kind of like reconciled.
The tumor started talking to you?
No, but I was just like, it's like, nah, we're cool. It's like your life form, my dog's
the
life
tumor was
form.
like that thing in Total Recall.
Yes.
Wade. Wade. That still gives me nightmares.
All I did, what I did for the pandemic is Haagen-Dazs. It's chocolate chip, vanilla bean, vanilla chocolate chip. Yeah.
Oh man.
I know.
That's my mushroom.
So
Haagen-Dazs.
I basically reconciled with my dog's cancer. It was fucking wild.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
And your
And
dog had cancer?
yeah, and
With a
she
tumor, right?
eventually
You said
like
the tumor.
yeah, she passed away from it after that. But I kind of like reconciled with it because of the trip, and it gave me like a real profound sense of gratitude of just like, dude, this is fucking like, this is like the height of the pandemic when people are at each other's throats, people are like, protesting, and people are like running the streets, and like I'm so fucking like my eyes were just like dinner plates going, you know what? Maybe it's all perfect.
Oh man.
Jeez.
This is all part of God's plan. Who knows?
Make me take my hat off, man. Jeez.
So what state?
That's wild.
What state legalized every drug?
Oh, was it Colorado? No, it was Oregon.
Oregon
They
legalized
decriminalized everything.
They decriminalized every drug.
You ever see Portland streets?
Oh, it's
Yeah, I
fucking
know.
atrocious.
Zombies.
Yeah, I know. The
I
whole Pacific Northwest and the West Coast, they're totally fucked. On top of like the fires and everything like that. And it's just like
Only thing about like I wish like coke and marijuana, like only thing like what it would do to like. I wonder what would happen in Mexico and like where people are dying with drug wars if you decriminalized it.
yeah, it's it's such a complicated issue because there's so many different people that have their hands in each other's pockets. It's just like this whole web of corruption. The whole thing's so fucked.
I think instead of rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat, they'll be killing themselves by using the drugs. More people get addicted. You get more zombies, I think.
You can't win. What you're really saying is you don't win either way.
No.
You don't win either way.
I mean,
like
for something to, you're not meant to live in an altered state.
The stuff people say about Singapore and all these countries, I think Bill Burr was talking about this on his podcast where he, what was it? I think he interviewed or he talked to somebody from Singapore. And they'll like kill you if you have marijuana.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're
So they have
crazy
no
about
drug
that
issues.
shit. Yeah.
So they do kill a couple people a year, and that's insanely excessive.
Yeah.
But he was talking about an interview with Singapore and somebody in Congress here, and somebody like in higher up there in government, and he said it's really not. And this guy from Singapore said it's not good what we did, but it's better than the problems you have.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not as bad as the problems you have.
Meanwhile, in like
we had
Singapore
no
and
drug
all,
issues.
yeah, and meanwhile in Singapore and those places, like you get arrested for drugs, but prostitution totally fine.
And billionaires move there. It's like the best education system, one of the best in the world. Billionaires go there and relocate there. They want to raise their kids there. On the education system is so good.
That's wild.
They have like their own version of math that's even better than like Chinese math.
No
like
shit.
how Chinese learn math. It's
We are
how
not.
we learn.
We are not better than everyone. We're just better than everyone.
No, it's do you know anything about Singapore? What it did? What
exactly.
happened? Singapore was one of the poorest countries 40 years ago, to now one of the richest and like a superpower.
Damn.
Think about that. What
Shout
they
out
did in 40,
capitalism.
50 years. Shout out to something.
I know.
Shout out to something.
I know.
I don't know enough about it to know.
I know that in
know.
Singapore they pronounce H.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I know about Singapore.
Really?
Yeah.
H?
Yeah. Like our recording device. Shout out to the brand new microphones today, guys. Yeah. Moving on up. So I was doing research on the recorder, which is called a Zoom H recorder. I ran into this guy, and he was like, "This is the Zoom H8." I was like, "H8? What are you, reverse Jamaican?"
I know they do the same thing in Britain with Z. They call it Zed, which bothers me.
I grew up hearing Zed. I thought it was weird.
Yeah, actually, like my last name is Old English. And it's the one of two things that are like English about me. It's just like my last name and like a nice cup of tea in the afternoon, and that's it.
Well, look here, I'm thinking that you're a nice Irish lad there.
Oh yeah,
Jack.
exactly. My ancestors over the last like 400 years did due diligence to fuck every German and Irish immigrant for like 400 years.
Turns out the British, aren't they?
I'm actually
Cheeky bastards.
a bit of Scottish too. And we're actually going over there September with my family. It'll be a lot of fucking fun.
I thought it'd be great, Jack.
I know it's one in the back of their throat. Whereas Irish is more whimsical.
Did you ever go there before?
No, actually, this is the first time like traveling overseas. Like the only traveling I've done is from like Maine down to Florida to Canada too.
Your first time going to Europe?
Yeah, it's
so
gonna
where
be
you going?
rad.
Scotland, Ireland?
Yeah, Scotland, Ireland.
Are you going to drive?
Yeah, probably, but it's gonna be on the.
Are you going to drink and drive?
On the wrong side of the street?
I mean,
You're going to drive on the wrong side of the street? It is dangerous over there, man.
I know, but you
They
gotta
have
live
no
a little.
guardrails. Like I know somebody who goes to Ireland and her whole family they rent and pay for a driver.
Wow.
Because you there's no guardrails, and just imagine that means that what does that mean? You're always on. Yeah, you're when you're driving, the steering wheel. You know who never? She used to tell me this. Like when you're like, let's say you're going to the cliff is on your left side. You're not the person who's riding shotgun is looking over the cliff like, holy crap, we're gonna die. So she said, growing up, like nobody ever wanted that seat.
Wow.
Or when they would travel to Ireland, nobody wanted that seat. Wasn't it somebody on our podcast talking about this? I can't remember who I heard.
I grew up again in Barbados, so that's normal for us.
You guys drive on the wrong side?
Yes. In Barbados, in the Caribbean, it is.
right.
Not only that, you ever going up a hill or a mountain like without those rails? Barbados is relatively flat. But I drove in Trinidad like years ago. We were going up, and there's no rails, and you're looking over, and you're seeing rooftops.
Wow.
Right? So, yeah, I know.
Shoot.
Yeah, sometimes part of my commute going up to Cornwall, you guys know on 9A, there's the goat trail. Dude, I do there like half the time there, and it's still like sketchy as shit. It's like I tend to avoid it, like if it's like bad storms. But
Wait, you talking about like the Bear Mountain switchbacks? Like
Yes.
On the way to Bear Mountain?
yes, yeah,
Where they
yeah.
have that overlook?
Oh yeah, it just winds all over the place. Yeah,
I drove that.
It's a little bit of
the-
adrenaline
the
first thing in the
famous,
morning.
I drove that last Friday.
yeah,
It's the famous Anthony's Nose hike over there,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The famous what?
Anthony's Nose hike? Yeah.
Hike.
How do they name that? Anthony's Nose hike. It's just some
They lost me a hike.
crooked-nosed Italian dude.
No, just looked at it. It's like, hey, it looks like my nose, and that's how they establish it. That's literally how most dudes like name fucking places. But going back to like my ancestry, my ancestor married Anage Peak, who was one of the founders of Peak Seal. That's how deep we go, like in the Hudson Valley area. So we
Really?
definitely have blood on our hands, big time.
Oh, man.
Speaking of ancestry, you heard about that 23andMe leak because they supposedly they filed for Chapter 11.
So, yeah, you got to erase your information. If you ever did 23andMe, you got to log into the
yeah.
website and erase your info. So, yeah.
So
erase. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, like it's
So-
getting erased.
yeah,
Yeah,
Well,
good luck
you
with
know, I don't know.
that. You didn't have to do it because
I never did it. I never did the 23andMe.
you didn't need to know what you are. You
I
know
know,
what you are.
100%.
Yeah.
You're 100% Eastern
No, I'm
European.
not. I'm like a Slovak, Czechoslovakian. And I just found out that I may be part Hungarian.
Yeah, I got some of that too.
But I got my beard grows in red. It's not long now, but it grows in red. And that's you're almost always Northern European, like
Yeah.
Irish or German.
Yeah.
Nobody has red beard, but that area.
Alex.
Yeah, it made,
Cooler.
Any excuse for this guy to do an accent, I swear to God.
Excuse for this guy.
We're just gonna talk, and then David will just be like, we'll go in the accent. So anyway, I was in China the other day. No, you won't do that one. All right. So then we head over to Australia, and no, come on.
Dan and da.
Dan
Koala
and da.
bear.
Hey, Roy. Hey, Roy.
also the redhead thing too. Apparently, like red hair comes from like the Neanderthal lineage. So the two of us are definitely at least like 2%
Yeah, you talked
Neanderthal.
about this in your act.
Yeah, no, it's actually like they're legitimate
The
science.
red hairs from Neanderthals.
Yeah, isn't that fucking wild?
But then it's what's crazy. Okay. I don't know what I was
People,
gonna
we
say.
were right. Apparently.
But all Irish and German are like reddish.
Oh yeah, all that
their
Northern
beard.
European stuff. It's just pasty potato people fucking each other and digging up earth
Wow.
for years.
My beard grows in red, but my hair is not really red.
Yeah, my brother has the same thing. It's
My
kind
hair
of
grew,
wild.
when I let my hair grow long, it grows in Chinese. But my beard.
This,
mostly grows in
it
red.
automatically goes into a bun with the chopsticks in it.
Hello, I'm Alex Acona here to help you for your services.
Get a fucking Pai Mei
That was
beard.
Japanese. That was more Japanese. I make a good noodle. Okay, sorry.
I make you want no
Oh,
dog.
you started me with the
Like
accents.
no dog. No dog. You can't say that.
Here at the Velvet, I always say this every week. The Velvet Sugar
Here at the
Podcast. We
Welfare
don't
Sugar
discriminate.
Podcast,
We
we
don't
don't
discriminate
make
against anybody
fun of
except
people.
the Jews, the Hispanics, and Egyptians. We don't allow ancient Egyptians.
Yes,
ancient
ancient.
Egyptians. I told you the first time I saw Louis C.K. was he did that. Like he announced himself on a show at the City Center where they do the Patrice O'Neill benefit. And it was
Oh,
like
wow.
30,000 people in there. No, like 20, whatever, 15,000 that holds. And you heard like, all right, coming. And it was the guy giving the introduction of the turn yourself, but nobody realized it was Louis. He changed his voice a little. And he goes about, and some things we do now: cell phone viewing, cell phone filming, and no Jews, please, no Jews, and no blacks. And then you hear a couple of black people go boo, and he goes, no, just those blacks, just those blacks. And then he went, and no Egyptians. Wait, we have recent no ancient Egyptians. He did this whole little.
Man, I meant to bring in Ramses II tonight. All right, I got to give my seat to somebody else. It's so bizarre to me that museums will have like mummies that are 3,000 years old, and they just put them up for display. But if you're a serial killer and you have a fresh body, it's considered illegal. Like, where's the turning point where that's like okay and that's not
Once
okay?
it's mummified, right?
Yeah.
That's a good thing,
I mean, unless you mummify yourself, and then where you go from there.
Do you like going to museums?
I love going to museums.
really?
I do. I really am a fucking
Jack
nerd.
Ludlum is a nerd.
How many
Big
times have
time.
you been to the Met?
To the Met Gallery, like maybe 2 or 3 times.
Do they still have the Tutankhamen or whatever?
I
the
think
Egyptian?
they kind of circulate certain like exhibits, like in National, I think it was the one in Boston I went to where they had the bodies museum, but they had them up to display before they realized, oh, these were all made from basically like.
Oh, you're talking about when they ran like the plastics through the veins and
Yes.
arteries?
Yes.
My wife saw that in the city. Remember when that toured in the city?
Oh yeah.
That was about 15 years. I don't know
Yes,
when.
it was about 15
She
years
saw
ago.
it in the city. I didn't go. But that was kind of creepy. I mean, I actually dissected cadavers in school.
Oh wow! Holy
I
shit!
took a year of gross anatomy. It's from my when I was in healthcare doing what I do, and you had to take a 4-year program. We took a year of gross anatomy with a teacher who also taught med students, but we weren't med students.
Wow.
It was like radiologic technology.
Can you imagine Alex, big ass Dr. Cola? Everything he put his
no,
glove
no.
on, shit ripped. Bend over.
There's something about putting a blue glove when you snap it on. You just want to be like, just bend over, sir.
I'm gonna put my
Research.
foot in your anus.
Instantly, your mind changes.
So my professor, you know what he had? I'll tell you guys. My professor had a bucket. Like he had the body. We dissected. You didn't have to dissect the whole cadaver, but you had to learn about it, right?
Sure, yeah.
It was optional because we weren't med students. The med students had to, but we had to look like when we covered the whole lower leg or the upper arm. Let's say there's like 27 muscles just in your forearm.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Your forearm has more muscles in hand than in your whole leg or upper arm.
Yeah, when athletes
Because
fuck
of
up
movement, moving your fingers, right?
Yeah.
So he had like a whole, like for instance, he had a whole arm, and he had it in a plastic bag from shoulder down, and there was no skin on it, obviously, or fat.
Wow.
So so we'd have to learn the insertion points and the origination points. Like this is the tensor brevis that moves your, whatever finger, and he had it in formaldehyde, and then he had a bucket full of penises. Like balls
literally
and
a
penis.
bucket full of
And he
dicks.
pulled out a white one, and then he pulled out a black one, and he just like toss them around the room, like take a look and point to the corpus cavernosum, the corpus spongiosum,
And this is why the Africans
and
have
I
a
just
foot
want
of
to
dick.
say they were the same size.
Nope.
They were the same
When you
size.
trim one of them, of course.
They're formaldehyde. No, and then it was an old lady that would dissect it. Like, they donate their body. She was like an overweight, maybe like 5'3", 5'4", 180-pound
Oh
woman.
wow!
And then I learned a lot of crazy stuff in that class. I'll never forget it.
Did you guys date?
No, she was dead.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant. Okay, my bad. My bad. I thought you meant you was teaching the class.
So we had sex.
I mean, right, okay.
Because
thought maybe you
Nice.
took her out for coffee.
Thanks for bringing it.
I thought.
No, you know what we had to do? What he told us? He was always chewing minty gum. And you ever see Silence of the Lambs when they put that thing
Yeah,
under their nose?
yeah. What are those?
No,
shits
it doesn't
called?
do crap. You
Really?
chew minty gum. It gets that smell of formaldehyde out of it. You don't smell it.
That's good to know in case I need to get rid of some people.
But you ever meet like those fat people that have like, I feel my belly. It's hard. It's like
Yeah.
hard. You know why? Because when you get fat, you grow. Most of your fat is not on the outside. It's on the inside, under the muscle, around your intestines. So we pulled out an intestine, and we had these white-looking. You ever see like a water balloon that's like 3/4 filled?
Oh yeah.
With that little part's like stretchy. They're attached to the part of the intestines every couple inches, and those are called epiploic appendages, and they're full of fat. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I know.
All your fat is on the inside.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah, it's nasty.
That's how I feel sometimes. I'm a skinny guy, but I'm fat on the inside, dude.
I have like a photographic memory with words. I remember everything I learned, almost everything I learned with that class. But I can't remember my comedy bits for shit.
I know.
Why is
I have the
that?
same problem too, but I can explain why with certain lifestyle choices I make.
What is it with the brain, right? I can remember my best friend's phone number from across the street. and
Yeah, right?
I can't remember like the bit I want to do tonight. I can't memorize this.
Dude, it infuriates me whenever like I'll do a bit I know I've been doing for a while and I forget like one of the best taglines. I'm like, fuck. Even if I have a good
yeah.
set,
But
if I re-listen to those performance and it's the one tag I forgot, I go, fuck, I suck.
But that's
Yeah.
why you should record
Yes.
every set, whether it's a show or a performance. If you don't do video, at least do audio.
Yeah, exactly.
Should
Yeah,
do
that's
that
what I
every
do. Even though I hate the sound of my own voice, but it helps.
No, you gotta get
yeah.
over that. You gotta get over that.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. I'm there with you.
Even though I also hate the sound of your voice. But you still should. You still should. Not think about it. People actually say the sound of your voice is really irritating. No.
Really
But
airing
it's
some
funny
things
how-
out today.
But by the way, Jack hosts a weekly mic.
Yeah, at Brewster.
Good
It's called
segue.
Brewster, New York.
Yeah.
Right, the mic
Every
around
Monday,
the corner.
7:30, and it's a good time. It's super laid back. Yeah, it's a good time over there.
Jack usually gives everyone about 37 minutes.
Yeah.
No, I've been so lenient lately. It's like it's gotten to a point. It's like
Jack
okay,
is like a substitute teacher.
I know. I
Screw
really,
you, we're not doing anything. Jack, I don't care.
I got my fucking feet propped up on the desk and just munching on an apple with a whiskey bottle in the desk.
Jack took over from Frankie Becerra.
That's right. That's right.
What year did you take over?
I think it must have been like 2.5 years ago. It must feel like it's been a
20
while.
I think it's been
dude.
over almost 3 years.
Yeah,
right?
like I was saying before, the first mic that I did there was back in November of 2021. And I think I started hosting like maybe 2 years after that.
He was nervous as shit. I remember that mic because Jack. He came up in a leather jacket.
I still have
He
that
came up in a
mic.
leather jacket and he was like a robot. I was like, what? I was like, is this his very first time? He was nervous as shit.
I thought you realized I've been doing it like 9 years.
He was like nervous.
Oh man.
I was like, is it the black guy that got you so nervous?
Yeah, no, it was like directly post COVID, so I was still like shaky.
yeah,
I was still like getting my stage legs back again. It was wild.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
everybody had to
That
go
mic-
through it
that
because
mic,
did you ever go to Lucy's?
I briefly went. I think it was definitely before the pandemic. I went there at least like half a dozen times. And
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, we never ran into each other. That's
Yeah,
I
I ran into like Steiner. I remember running into Murph, but I don't recall like the
It's
rest.
funny. I can't
Yeah, I
remember.
remember
I
you
can't
from
remember
that.
Murph
Oh,
from.
wow.
I can't remember
Yeah.
Murph from Lucy's because when I moved up here, I was looking for a mic, and when I did find Lucy's, I used to go every once in a while.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? I started to go more consistently, like just before the pandemic.
Yeah. I was
did
doing.
in 2017, 18, 19. Yeah.
Yeah, I was mostly doing like open mics and like bar shows down in the city mostly. I put like more of my focus there, just trying to.
You know what it is? I discover a new comedian, right, on Instagram. When I look, Jack follows him. I'm like, damn, Jack knows he
Dude,
follows
I know
Jack-
everybody, dude. Yeah,
Jack
it's
is a
wild.
comedy nerd.
Yeah, he's a comedy connoisseur. Yeah,
aficionado.
yeah.
I know,
definitely.
and it's weird like doing it this long and seeing like how certain like comics or certain shows have grown over time. Like I remember when Kill Tony, this was like the second Skank Fest. They literally had it at a basement of like maybe 100 people, and now like fast forward like 8 years later, they're selling out Madison Square Garden like multiple times. It's fucking wild.
Yeah, it is.
Then
It
meeting like I remember meeting like Andrew Schultz before he blew up, and meeting like Chris DiStefano and like all these guys before they were getting momentum. They were getting into the clubs and everything like that, but they weren't a name like they are now. It was pretty wild. Like,
Murph was telling me he used to go to open mics with was that you or Murph oh God, I just had her name in my head. Hang on. the female comic that we went to see. I went to see with Murph. My
Oh,
God.
Jessica Kirsten.
Jessica Kirsten. Was that you or Murph?
No, it was Murph.
Yeah, he used to go to open mics with Jessica Kirsten.
Wow.
And he said she was wild like that. If
Even
you're
then.
watching this and you want to see a female comic
Oh
that's
my God,
absolutely
dude.
hilarious, probably the top 5 comic female or male I've ever seen.
100%, I agree with
is
you.
check out Jessica Kirsten. But
Yeah.
like just the energy, that she has.
Sure. I remember seeing her the first time. I was at the old location at the Stand. This was probably like 5 years before the pandemic. I remember she was on stage. I just remember hearing destruction down in the room. Like, who the fuck is this? And she's screaming at people. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It's like a force of nature. I've seen that a few times with certain people who are like, yo, they're going certain places. I remember Tim Dillon was like that too. I remember like, yeah, certain people, I'm like, holy shit, they're going to be a fucking force.
What about Lisa Lampanelli?
Lisa, I never saw her old stuff.
I used to see her old stuff. She
Oh, yeah?
she used to crack the shit up. You used to crack
Oh,
me
yeah.
up.
She's like a
at Mike,
motivational speaker now.
She would insult every.
Wait, you saw her at
yeah.
open mics?
No. I mean, like
Shows.
Her shows.
Oh, yeah.
Her shows. I mean, well, YouTube video.
Yeah, she retired like a few years ago. Now she does like motivational speakers.
Yeah,
So
now she's
fucking
skinny
sad.
Lisa. She's not like
Crazy.
big anymore.
Yeah, isn't that fucking nuts?
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like certain people you see like sell their souls. You're like, oh god, like it's probably like one of the
You know what it
Yeah.
is? You know what it is? Some people listen. When you finally get this thing is hard. This comedy.
Oh yeah, believe me.
But imagine, okay, you get on, but you got to travel every weekend.
Oh yeah.
Right? Now imagine we are all made to have like this 3-dimensional full life. So you got a career and you need relationships and whatnot. But if you're doing this, yeah, you're getting money, but you don't have the time for a real
Right.
personal relationship. They lose out on that. Now, people that don't have people that want the ability to tour and earn money and be like great. You don't look at it that way.
Exactly.
But
You
they have the money,
sacrifice a lot.
but yes, exactly. That's exactly it. It's a huge sacrifice, personal sacrifice. So when you have gained enough, you're like, you know what, I'm done. I want to do something else.
Yeah, and I respect that too. And like certain people, like, yeah, and then there's certain like guys. Like I remember like going back to like Carlin. Like when he died, he still had like a few weeks left on the road. He literally died on the fucking road, dude.
Really?
Or like Don Rickles performed to the day he died. Joan Rivers performed to the day she died. She was died on the fucking road too. It's wild, dude.
Wow.
Because a lot of them say the road life, can be hard.
It is, dude. And you hear like the
I mean,
stories
so-
of them just
yeah.
like going to shitty hotels or
I mean,
going.
I've done road for a couple months for work, right? Driving from city to city, not even flying, driving. Sometimes the turnaround is so quick, you're like, okay, what city was this?
That's exhausting. I'm doing it.
Yeah, it wears on you, and also like the lifestyle that comes with it too. Like I know a lot of dudes are like total booze bags too, and it's just like that adds to it, and just like
Well, me and Dave talk about this a lot, and about comics think like, oh, I have to be on drugs, I have to be an alcoholic or depressed. You do not. I think it's the opposite. That comedy lifestyle attracts certain people that can then get into that, but that doesn't mean you have to be. Like Jim
Exactly.
Gaffigan talked about this. He's like a father of 5 kids.
Oh, yeah.
He never, he's like, you don't have. You could just be a normal guy and clean. And Nate Bargatze too, like that.
oh
like,
yeah,
you be
yeah,
clean.
yeah.
Or you could be the other end.
But the lore of it is when you speak to regular comics, you hear them talking. Oh, we're degenerates. Oh, this is that. Oh, this is that. Depressed and blah. And I get it. Depression is a part of this because
Yeah.
you sit, especially when you're by yourself.
Oh yeah, you're just in a hotel by yourself. It's just you and your thoughts. Yeah, you can see how it drives certain people fucking crazy. Yeah,
That's why I'm a proponent of balance.
exactly.
Some type of balance. You need balance.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you need balance, man.
Yeah, plus a lot of jerking off in the hotel.
Yes, a lot of balance. That's exactly what I was thinking. Was balance. You ever leave your house and go, "Oh, I just forgot to masturbate"? Damn it!
Can't go through a day with a
Like,
full
oh my
nut.
god!
That's
I already had my
dangerous.
clothes on. I left the house. My kids could be listening to this podcast.
Like,
If you
Like,
are,
well-
Daddy doesn't masturbate. That's
I'll just
no.
pull over here at this local Acme, use their bathroom.
After the second kid, it became a eunuch.
Oh man.
But yeah. So what are you trying to do with comedy? What do you want to get? Where you wanna get to?
Honestly, I kind of like where I am right now. I mean, I do have my ambitions. Like, I'd love to like feature for certain dudes that I look up to. It would be a cool gig to do, and maybe do some things on the road. But it's just I like where I am right now. It's just like we're all kind of like big fish in a small pond sort of deal, and like doing it very DIY and like booking our own shows and shit like that.
Yeah.
I think I've gotten a lot further and got a lot more satisfaction doing this as opposed to like just going through the mics in the city and like going to the bar shows and just like being in the situations where you go into a bar and they immediately just like switch off the TV. It's like, time for a comedy show. You're like, oh, we're fucked because some dude's probably had money on the game. Now he hates your ass now and just directing his whole day on you. It's just like, everything. I've seen like everything that can go wrong with that, and I've like learned a lot from it in booking my own shows and trying to eliminate those factors. But I mean, there's so many different variables that can make or break a show. You know what I mean? Like, even if like everything's set up perfectly, you can still eat shit on stage.
Very true.
Yeah,
That's very true. That's very true.
Crazy.
That's very true.
I mean, right now there's no shortage of audience for a show. Although we've seen shows that don't sell well, but it's usually like not a Friday, Saturday night.
I've had plenty.
show up and 4 people in the audience.
One of the stories I love sharing is the first paid gig I ever did in New York City. It was at a Mexican restaurant in Harlem. And it was bombing in front of 2 people. I was one of like 8 comics, by the way. The comics outnumbered the audience. And I learned afterwards it was a couple on their first date. And after my set, it was definitely their last one.
Oh, man. You broke up a relationship.
Oh, like a new one, too.
You know what? Bombing never feels good.
No, no matter how long.
It's a horrible. It's a worth it. It's a worth it. I remember, I wasn't doing it. I wasn't doing stand up for a couple of years, and I had this character. I had a lot of hair, businessman, right? Yeah. So this guy that I knew from college, he was like, "Wait, you do comedy?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!" He's like, "Listen, I know this spot. I can get you 5 minutes." Hell yeah! Boom. Mind you, excuse me. Haven't wrote any new stuff. Yeah. Haven't even worked any old stuff. That wasn't even good anyway. I get up on stage, and right before I hit the stage, I was like, "Oh shit!" And I got instantly so nervous, dry mouth, everything.
You forgot everything?
Yeah.
I didn't forget, but when I got up, I felt it. There was a guy that was at the door.
How long were you doing comedy?
I don't know how long I was doing it.
Less than a year?
I don't know. No, more than that.
Oh,
but I remember there was a guy because it was a West Indian spot, and it was a Caribbean spot. There was a guy at the door. And they were telling him that tonight is a comedy show. He's like, "I don't want no comedy show, boy. I just want to sit down and relax myself. I don't want no stupid comedy." All right? That's what he's saying at the door. Who do you think was up front? Up front. He's up front.
yeah.
Tearing up them chicken wings. And my first joke, he's like, nobody's laughing. Listen, for 5 minutes.
Fuck.
Then I left. Listen.
God.
I went back and sat next to the guy that introduced me he didn't even look at me for the rest of the night, bro.
Oh, that's the worst fucking feeling.
God. And I did not go on the stage for about 2 more years after that.
Dude,
I was like, forget this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. That's happened to great comics.
Yeah, it is.
That can happen to anybody. I mean,
I
like
know, it's legendary.
Louis C.K.'s, the story is he bombed so bad his first ever open mic or first few
yeah.
that he took another
But-
2 years off in the 80s, and then came back.
but is there such a thing as bombing at an open mic?
Well,
or
I don't know if it
killing
was
at
an
an
open
open
mic. I don't know the full story, but he did. So he bombed so badly at either an open mic or show, and he was like,
I just posed that
first
question.
few months in,
Right.
And then he quit for 2 more years.
I just posed that question because all open mics are not equal.
Right, yeah.
Because you got open mics that actually have audiences.
Right.
It's just like a show. But like an open mic that's just full of comics, I don't think it's a bombing or a killing.
And also, if you're watching this and you like want to try comedy and you try, I've never seen anybody try comedy at an open mic. It's always so supportive. I've never seen them get booed or bomb. Right? It's always very supportive in an open
Up here
mic.
it is, but it is. Jeez,
You might
bro.
get heckled
In the
by
city, you
Jordan,
think it's
that's pretty
not?
much it.
Huh?
For brand new comics.
In the city, when I did it,
But in the city, if you go up and you're like, "It's my first time," usually the host should announce that
actually
it's his first
it
time.
did. That's what happened to me. When
And
I
they still booed you?
No, I didn't get booed.
Okay.
When I got up and I did whatever I wrote, they were like, "That's really good for a first time," and everybody gave me a hand. They clapped. It was like, "That was the
that's
first
great.
time." Yeah, that's what I got. Because I had my best friend with me, and he was giving me encouragement. He's like, "Yo, your stuff is good. You're gonna be fine."
Nice.
I went up and I did it the first time. First time ever on stage doing comedy. After wanting to do it for about 4 or 5 years, and never having the courage to do it.
Yeah, I know. But
Do you remember your first mic?
yeah, I remember the first mic. I remember doing okay. It was I actually like traced the date back. It was like October 6th, 2011, dude. It was fucking. I've been in the game for a long fucking time. There's nothing to show for it mostly.
No.
My first mic was in 2004.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh, wow.
First
You're
mic.
in the 20+ year mark now, technically.
Yeah, but see, I did a lot of gaps in between.
Yeah, the gaps,
but
too.
Even every once in a while, I remember. Oh man, I used to do that mic. Oh yeah, I used to do that. I used to go here because
Yeah.
there was a bunch of different mics all over the city.
Oh, yeah, there's so many of
From
them.
Auto Shrunken Head.
That was
to,
my spot. That was the
Oh, my
spot,
God.
dude.
Auto
Yeah, it
Shrunken
had some
Head.
like dirt under its nails. I really like that kind of atmosphere.
It's still there though, right?
I think it is. It's been a
have
while
no
since
idea.
I've been down to the city, but I've been meaning to
Yeah.
go down there. But I wasn't booed off stage once, but I did have this a similar occasion. This was 2012. This is pretty significant for the story. So the Boston bombing had just happened.
Oh jeez.
And there was a show right afterwards. It was kind of like a showcase show. It was like a variety show that they were doing at my college, and so they booked me on it. I was supposed to do like 12 minutes or something like that, and I thought I would pepper in the show with some very current material. And I just,
Oh, boy.
And so and I think it was something to the effect of like, yeah, everybody heard about the Boston Marathon and everything like that, and it was something to the effect that I said, you know what really like bummed me out about the whole thing? I don't know who won the race.
No.
You ever have 120 people go yell too soon? I fell the fuck apart. I was like visibly shaking and sweating. I think I was like 2 minutes into my set.
Jeez.
Human Jenga, you just collapsed.
But what do you do in that when you had a rough start? How do you recover?
Drink.
You talk to I'll tell you how you talk to other comics, and they kind of like it's like that's the apprenticeship program. Other comics should be telling you, hey man, don't worry about it, man. You know, everybody bombs or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
But in the city, like okay, if I see an ad for an open mic and I go super supportive, I go I don't know,
Yeah,
right? If you advertising how super supportive you are, I'm like, yeah, they don't want you to say certain things.
Yeah, for
They don't want you to
sure.
say certain things.
You know what I did when I was started comedy? I watched a lot. I tried to watch a lot on because other comics aren't that accessible in the beginning. You don't have a lot of friends in comedy. You just started,
Sure.
so I watched a lot of stuff and I love that show Crashing
Oh yeah,
on
yeah,
HBO.
yeah.
You ever
yeah.
watch it? Oh, it's great. So you know Pete Holmes?
Yes.
Whether you like his comedy or not, the show it kind of chronicles like him, or what? Is it based off of his life, or is it like that part fiction?
Yeah, it was weird about Crashing when I was watching it. It's like he was like commuting up and down from Westchester. It's like, holy shit, I'm doing the same thing. It felt like a little too close to home, and also he also ran into Artie Lang too.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
pretty cool. It gives you an idea of what it's.
But I
you know.
also think too, just like everything else in life, your relationships, who you run into, who you meet, who gives you advice,
Yeah.
who puts you on the show,
Oh, yeah.
who says good stuff. Because regardless of what, even though this is an individual sport,
Oh yeah, big
you still
time.
need people. You have to have people.
For sure.
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Because if nobody knows who you are and says anything, how are you gonna get booked?
Exactly.
You know
Yeah,
what I
you got to
mean?
make those connections. Absolutely. And
I mean-
that helped me like especially early on.
I had a show. We did a show this past Saturday. All right. I had a friend from high school in the audience that I did not know.
No shit.
Did not know. I
didn't know he was there?
I didn't know he was there.
That's a good thing.
I did not know.
Yeah.
It's only when I made a reference to one of my school jokes growing up. He walked to me. He gave me the teacher's name. I was like, oh shit. And he was like, I was like, oh shit.
Wow.
I had no idea he was there.
That's crazy.
And he
yeah.
brought him and his wife, and they enjoyed the show.
That's awesome, dude.
I was like, wow, okay, that felt good. That felt good.
yeah.
You ever wonder how big was your high school?
800.
800. Okay, that's not that small. How about yours?
I think once like 500 in my class. I think.
You ever wonder? Mine was big. The whole high school.
I'm trying to remember. Like,
My whole high school was almost 2,000.
yeah, I think mine was like 1,000 kids total.
So yours had about 800.
But
I
that's
wonder-
that,
you ever wonder, like-
but that's combining again British system. So we had forms. We had first form, second form, third form, which was the junior school. Then fourth and fifth was the senior school. So that's combined.
Oh, well, my point was I was going to say is you ever wonder like who in your high school of all those 800 kids, or who in your high school of all those 1,000 kids like went to stand up comedy? Like, am I the
Yeah.
only one? It was 2,000 kids, I think. In my graduating class was like 700 seniors, right around the 800. But I think the whole back then 9th grade you could do a middle school or not.
Right.
So 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th was 2,000. A lot of kids. I wonder who became a stand-up. You ever wonder? Who became
Yeah,
a stand-up
it's-
comic?
Yeah,
who went into show business basically
more or less. Yeah, I think I had another friend.
and stuck with it. You know.
Yeah, in high school he went into improv, but that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Jack
My
Ludlum
30-year
shits on improv.
My 30-year reunion's coming up in 2 years.
Wow.
No, next year. Next year, whatever June when you is my 30-year high school reunion.
That's wild.
Isn't that wild?
That is wild, man.
I mean, especially when in the time that I grew up, you know, no one wasn't talking about artists. It was all academics getting a job.
Yeah, that was the
It
same
wasn't
thing with
about
my school.
it wasn't like, oh, what can happen? What are the possibilities outside of this thing? It was always about,
Sure.
hey, you know, you want to get a thing, you get in a scholarship, or you know, so you learn, and whatever. I didn't want to do that.
Right.
I was never comfortable in any of that. You guys were talking about bio earlier. It didn't make sense to me. I took bio 4 times in college. I couldn't get it. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm like, why is this an amoeba? What? How do you know that? I'm like, how do you know this? And I go, why is she talking like that? Why did she scratch? It scratched her face when she's talking.
You were like the first conspiracy theorist. She's like, this is a mitochondria. You're like, prove it.
Man,
Yeah,
I don't
I was
see
like,
it.
what? Why? I was like,
You know
why?
what
What do they call it?
I think that cells are bullshit.
I even tried to
Fake
do.
news.
I even
You're
tried
like,
to
fake news.
I even
in the
tried
back
to do.
of the room.
I tried to do computer programming. My first teacher, professor. Can you think I can say her name? I don't know. Say her name or not?
If you want to.
She was Italian. She was pregnant. Her name was Anna Salvati. So when she was when you're programming the computer, it's an if then else statement, and that's what I'm picturing: if then else statement. So I'm more focused on how she sounds than what's going on. You know, if then else, but, right? I'm like, she was like, I was like, oh,
I know.
failed that class as well.
She was Italian in Barbados?
No, this is here. In
Oh,
college.
this is here.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
right. Okay.
Yeah, we had an English teacher for music. She was not really British. Then we had an American teacher, right? And she married a Bayesian, so she was down there. She told us one of the first things she told us. She told us the history about the white man. She's like,
wow.
She's like, in America, where I'm from. She's like, you know, the Indians was native. We weren't here. They didn't look like me, and you know, they welcomed the white man. The white man killed them out.
Yeah.
She told us about that, like that.
Going back to
Everybody was
my
like, yo, we like her.
Oh, man.
Yeah, sometimes like a good teacher makes a huge difference.
We had
like,
a teacher, an art teacher from Jamaica. Yeah, we had an art teacher from Jamaica, a geography teacher from Guyana. So we had them here and there, you know, sprinkled out throughout, and everybody was,
Yeah.
But it was a different time, man. It was just in the '80s. Kids, computer, you didn't have no computers in class. You didn't have no AC in class.
Wait, you didn't have computers in class?
No.
'Cause, hold on, but I remember I'm just 2 years younger than you. We had like those big, like we had a computer room and it had like 4
Yeah,
or
we had a
5
computer
of
room.
those big.
Yeah, we had a
but
computer
not
room.
in each classroom.
No,
We had a computer
no.
room. This is how it was back then. You had a computer
Yeah.
room, and you had like those giant box computers with the original like Macintosh Apple computer.
Dude, yeah.
My extracurricular activities in school was being a Boy Scout.
Wow.
I was a Boy Scout until I picked up basketball.
Wow. It's less molestation, I guess.
Actually, yeah, that's one of the reasons that I left.
Dude, but the way my brain worked, once I saw like the green lines on the screen for the computer, the numbers, I'm like shut down immediately. Like I couldn't, like, how do people process that information?
It's crazy,
Really?
dude.
You know?
I know one reason: autism. That's how they
Like
process
how some
it.
people have the non ADHD brain that can do
can
like
focus.
accounting. Like
Yeah.
my brother-in-law's an accountant. He tells me what he does, and as he's telling me what he does as an accountant, I'm just thinking in the back of my mind, like, you do this instead of just killing yourself. Like, I literally
I know.
made that joke on stage. Like, you can just do that without wanting to kill yourself.
It's
This is the most
amazing.
boring thing in the world. You fill out paperwork for a living?
Dude, that's how I fell out with like my high school reunion. Some of the jobs my friends do. It's
that's
just the
what
most
people like.
soulless fucking like. I'm a like an executive assistant, managerial. It's just like every fucking. It's just like this is such bullshit.
Every job that I was, like, even my first job, my second job when I was at the bank, I kept seeing TV shows. I just kept seeing all kind of TV shows in my head.
By the way, as I just made that killing yourself joke, I feel like during the post-production, when this comes out, our producer's going to put like a flashing suicide hotline number here. Like, we love a sugar, don't condone killing yourself.
Don't kill yourself.
Don't get told
See how-
mushrooms like you killing yourself.
No mushrooms, no killing yourself, off of
We have to
yourself.
beep out your teacher's name. This is fucking. It's gonna be a lot of work for this dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I got so many suicide jokes I want to do now, but they're so inappropriate for this podcast. All right, come see me live and I'll tell them.
When's your next show? When's your next show?
Our next show is, well, if by the time if this is out, my next show is probably hosting Rhino April 5th on my birthday. Rhino Comedy Club.
Nice.
I'm hosting.
But we do a show together Friday at Jackie B's.
And Jackie B's Friday, but this is already coming out.
Yeah, I know, but still mention it. Oh wow, 5 minutes
5
already.
minutes left.
Damn, that flew by.
It did flew by, Jack.
And what else? Come see me May 19th, headlining at Rhino.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
And the Elbow Room, new club I'm going to do, the Elbow Room in Connecticut, West Hartford, the Forgotten City, West Hartford. Ever go to that part of Connecticut?
No, it's been a hot minute.
People just don't have any idea what goes on in that part of Connecticut.
Yeah, it's
You know,
just fucking nutty, I hear.
I went to that town that Jesse James was born in Connecticut. You know that town? Enfield, Connecticut?
And it sounds familiar.
They kept it. The streets aren't even, I don't think the streets are paved, or they're like, they still have the original cobblestone.
Get the fuck
But they
outta
didn't
here.
change
Wow.
any of the buildings, and it feels like you're in the Wild West almost.
Yeah.
And I believe it was, Jesse James was from there. Or I'm mixing up one of the historic figures. But Connecticut's like that. Connecticut
But hold
is
on, don't forget you have an audition. The
Ah.
comic strip. At the comic strip.
Yeah, but the comic
Nice.
strip.
Right.
For
What
you,
date?
bro.
What date?
I didn't want to mention that, but thanks, Dave, for bringing it to light in front of everybody.
oh.
I was hoping nobody would come to that.
Oh really? I didn't know that. Okay, well forget it. Then
so
my
if you're watching
audition,
this,
my audition for the comic strip is August 19th at 8 o'clock. Come see me, hopefully, please.
All right, go vote for Dave. And yeah, because so if you're watching this and you don't know what we're talking about, comedy clubs like the comic strip or certain clubs will have like once a year, like almost like an audition to see if you could be like a, what do they call
Regular.
it? Like a regular, what do they call it? Like a residency.
Yeah.
Residency.
And they don't let you get on the good like 8 p.m. shows.
Yeah,
that
they
have,
put
like,
you on
bigger
the check
stars.
spots.
They'll put you on like the 11 p.m. shows or the midnight shows because they're a check spot. But
Start somewhere, right?
that's how you start.
Yeah.
I got a check spot at Laugh It Up Comedy Club, and I did so good at the check. I didn't realize how challenging that check spot is.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't let it get to my head because nobody talked to me.
Because you're
And-
6'8".
But what a check spot is, if you're watching this, is if you go to see your favorite comic, and you see like, oh, they're doing this where I did the thing at Laugh It Up Comedy Club. You go to see your comic, and you see like, oh, Nate Bargatze or whoever, or Louis C.K. just performed there. After they don't collect the checks during the headliner set.
No.
They let the comic finish, and then usually it's the host who comes out.
Yep.
And I wasn't even the host, so you had the host, a great feature, a great headliner, and then and then when they're collecting the checks and half the room's talking, they're like, all right, now here's Alex.
Oh,
gonna come
yeah.
out and make
Oh,
you laugh
yeah.
some more. And I come out, and I'm so tall, like every time I come out, I hear somebody go, oh, one guy was drunk. He's like, oh shit, look at this fucking guy. Oh, look at this fucking guy. So I had to immediately shit on him.
Yeah.
Make
That's
fun of
so
him.
great.
But like people started listening. I was fine. I did my best stuff, and I did it like nothing. And three quarters
a
of the
pro.
room paid attention.
That's
and listened.
great, dude.
And then they had me back, And then that's part of comedy. Is
That's
like
part of it.
horrible shows you do in the beginning. And
Yeah.
now he puts me. Now I'm going to be featuring at that same club. He's going to put me to feature for Heather Shaw. So
Awesome.
So that's how it works, man. You
Yeah,
pay your
man.
dues, try and keep trying. And also, I talked to a comic that said, "There's no only shot in comedy." You know, people say only shot.
yeah.
And I was talking to it was actually Craig Lautner. He's put us on shows.
Yeah.
He runs a production thing called Very Good Comedy.
Yes.
Shout out to him.
Shout out
he
to
puts us
Craig
on
Lautner.
shows.
Yes.
But he said there's no like one shot. You get more than one shot.
Believe me, I've had at least 3 or 4. Look what that got me.
The ever pessimistic Jack Ludlum.
That's just because of the sound of your voice. It's just freaking. No.
It's like, remember you bridge burning asshole.
Oh man.
But before we go, how much we got?
Oh, when's
Minute,
your
2
show?
minutes?
Give a shout out to your show.
So,
April 11th, right?
So at the studio around the corner in Brewster on April 11th, I believe the doors open at 7 o'clock. It's myself and a bunch of the local comics around. I think we mentioned a few of them. Murph, Jordan Malice, Andrew Steiner, Frankie Mangione, and Joe Sherman are all going to be a show. Oh, and Cheryl Hughes is having a special guest appearance as well. So it's going to be a fun time there.
You know Cheryl. Hello,
of course.
Cheryl.
Yeah. it's
Also,
gonna be a good time.
give him your handle real quick with the minute we got
Jack
left.
Ludlum 93 on Instagram. That's basically my go-to social media these days. I'm also on Facebook if you give a shit. Who knows?
Jack is so old school. He acts like he's 75 years old. Jack don't do no
Dude,
kind of social media. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm old in comedy years, dude. It fucking has aged me.
You're
Like,
an old soul.
yeah, I get that a
Well,
lot.
I got a show Friday with Alex. This will probably be out then. But anyway, I got a show in Brooklyn on Saturday, April 12th. It's a Caribbean comedy show hosted
tremendous.
by Mel Vibes. We've got Haitian V, myself, and another comic. I can't remember his name. Haven't met him yet, but I'm familiar with obviously the other guys. But yeah, let's come down in Brooklyn and the Caribbean spot, man. It's gonna be, music and food and comedy and them kind of thing. You understand?
Damn. Love it.
What you got, man?
And that's it. No, I already said what I had.
Okay.
I'm done. That's
right.
it.
Well, man, Jack,
Been a
it
great
was a pleasure
podcast.
having you, man. It
Oh,
was
of course.
cool.
This was a blast, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
felt like 17 minutes.
Damn.
You know,
Yeah.
like how much time you get at Jack's open mic? All right,
Yeah,
man,
come
everybody.
down. If you want to try comedy, come down to Jack's Open Mic.
Come
Tell
down.
them where it is again and when. It's
So
every Monday night.
Yeah, it's every Monday night. The sign up is at 7:30. The show starts at 8 o'clock. It's 67 Main Street in Brewster, New York.
Yeah, come
Yeah,
on
if
down
you
and
wanna
try it,
stand
man.
up comedy. That's how you try. You just try it once, and you may be the next. You may be the next Louis C.K. or Eddie Murphy or Chris Rock or whoever,
You
right?
never know.
Yeah,
Or the first, whatever your name
You'll be
is.
so successful, you'll have your own sex scandal.
Or you're gonna bomb and cry yourself to sleep that night and never do it again. It could be anywhere between there, right? One of those two.
You
or
give me
somewhere
the
in
first,
between.
whatever your stupid name is. There you go.
All right, thanks,
man.
fellas.
Thanks, everybody.
Peace.